We're live.
Again.
Yes, we are.
When these things happen.
Hello.
Anxiety through the roof.
I wonder where everyone is.
I don't know. Is it just us today?
Well, I posted about it in the Twitter.
Are you sure?
Yes, I am very sure.
I turned my light off on accident. My bad, yo. I
I
clearly.
wish we had the cute technical difficulties or where like and then
I wish we could do that.
you just get like the hi.
Who's here? I can't see the chat. See, this is why I should do this on my computer all the time.
Hi, Danica.
I have to keep pulling the chat up to talk to people, so I think I'm just gonna leave it up so I can respond.
Oh, goody.
Yeah.
I gotta find it. I like to be active too. Okay. So today we're going to be discussing the Reel Injun documentary. I have notes, but they're not as extensive today.
You have notes in the sun.
And Soren is trying to gain entry.
The apocalypse, it seems. I don't really have notes. I just have thoughts that live in my big Indian brain.
But first off, before we do that, we're gonna wish Brody a happy birthday. So happy birthday, Brody! I hope your birthday is amazing.
Probably was just like them.
Okay. So what did you think?
I mean, the first time I saw the documentary itself was, I think, my first year in college when I took my first film class, which is what made me major in film for a while. And it just it blew me out the water because I think I watched it right after we watched Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. And I just had so many feelings that were validated through this film. And it's just really nice to see people who get it. Plus Charlie Hill is always a bonus because he's one of my favorite comedians. He is a gem, a diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have enough good things to say about the movie. So many feelings.
Sorry, that was my fault. Jenna.
Yeah, I heard that. Oh no, this is what everyone hears. I've met some people, but unfortunately, they've met me too.
I think I saw this documentary. I think it was 2000 and I want to say 13 or 14 because I was still living in this apartment with four other people, but it was a really nice apartment. But I just remember coming home from work and I was like, I want to watch something, and everybody did not care what was going on. So that is what we watched one night. It was just a documentary about Native cinema, which I had never seen anything like that before.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. It's like whenever I got involved in Bookstagram, obviously I knew there was Indigenous literature, but I didn't realize there was such modern Indigenous literature, because even though I'm Native and I'm a writer, I was like, no one else is doing it like me, which is clearly a crock of shit. So it just, whenever you see it in cinema as well, and different forms of pop culture and media, it's really affirming, I think.
Yeah, Adam Beach made a really good comment about we'll never be able to change the fantasy of what natives are.
Yeah,
because the film goes through how they originally saw us, and then it takes 2 or 3 different transformations, and then the 70s and the AIM movement, and then the 90s when Smoke Signals came out, all the way to now.
Yeah, I just watching that film when they started out with, what was the first kind of category they had?
The Birth of the Hollywood Injun.
Yeah, so with that, it just I really realized I could not sit through most of the movies that were depicted in. My granddad loves westerns, and he always tries to get me to watch them with him, and I'm like, read the room, Jose, because that's not gonna happen. And can we take a moment? I'm getting a phone call. This is not great. Once.
All right. Well, while she deals with the phone call, Danica, I like your comment there. Mainly Indian women. Yeah. I honestly think that there's kind of a disservice in how Native women are shown, like just how there's different categories of like Black and African American women. There's definitely, you have the like super brave woman, and that's all I've seen in cinema. I've never seen a Native Indigenous woman that's been like small or soft. I've never seen any that are like overtly comforting. They've always been kind of like stoic. And we were just talking about Native women.
Yeah, I heard. But I completely agree. I was kind of like on the phone and listening at the same time. But you continue, and I'll jump in.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I was talking about how I've always only seen like Native, because there's like different categories for African American women, how it's like, you know, you get that like overtly comforting like Black grandma, or you have the, you know, the ones that was like sassy, and it's like, you know, you cringe at some of these ones because it's like, yes, while there are women out there that do have these personality traits, that's not all that they are. Yeah. Versus like with Native American women, that's not all that Native women are. Not everybody is like, not everybody's strong, not everybody is stoic. There's not enough representation where they're like soft.
Yeah, there are definitely Indian women out there that are soft. There are Indian women out there that are rugged. I mean, we all come in different like shapes and sizes and different personalities, and whenever you watch movies that you're represented in and you can see yourself in, it makes you kind of believe in yourself more, see yourself as more of a person. And that's really what like drew me to film studies when I was in college, was the fact that I wanted to make a story that represented people like me and, you know, people like us in a way that wasn't that mystic type of Pocahontas-y stereotype. Because one of the first depictions of like Native women I ever saw was Pocahontas, and it was like kind of damaging in a way. I mean, obviously, aside from the trauma of the movie itself. Ooh, I'm gonna have to add that to my TBR. I have feelings. But it just kind of damaged the way I saw myself, because it was like, this is how I have to be because this is how people are going to see me. And I mean, I remember I was in 4th grade and I ended up having to do a presentation on Native Americans around Thanksgiving. And I got laughed at because I wore my traditional clothes for my presentation, and I gave a correct presentation, and they laughed, and it sucked. Because they were all expecting, like, you know, buckskin dresses and long black hair. And I'm like, clearly, I don't have that. Like,
yeah, it's always awkward when you're in school. Like, I went with all white kids, like all white kids. And so every time we talked about Thanksgiving or stuff like that, just you feel the weird awkwardness as everyone turns to stare at you like you're the like spokesperson. It's like, I don't know, dude. I can't speak to the representation in Pocahontas. All I can say is that it's terrible representation. Like, she was a freaking child. So, like, John Smith was a dirty old man. Nobody talks about that. She was 12, yo.
Deep breath. It's just one of those things that you don't get over, and people just cling to it with like this iron grip for no reason. And they're like, "Oh my God, it's Disney. Pocahontas is my favorite movie," and it's just like, grow up. There are better movies. I mean, this kind of goes in the same vein. Like, y'all know my husband is Samoan, and it took us forever. I found the thing I was looking for. By the way, it was under my leg. Anyway, and we have tried and pretty much failed to watch Moana so many times until we finally, the 8th time we tried, we got through it all. And the entire time we're sitting there watching it, he's pointing out the things that are right, the things that are wrong, the things that are basically just like Pan-Polynesian, where they kind of mixed the languages and different cultural ways of dressing and stuff. And so the fact that almost every indigenous culture that's been represented by Disney has, stories like that have been bastardized, or their cultures have just been kind of put into one conglomerate it's just kind of gross. Like, why are you capitalizing off of stuff you know you shouldn't touch?
I agree.
Sorry, I'm reading the comments.
Oh yeah, no, totally. We did I think it was my AP English, or I took 2 different Englishes in my senior year because I had failed English 10, so I had to take it over in my senior year. But I can't remember which class it was, but we did a whole breakdown of the Pocahontas movie, and I remember, and I was the only native, so like in a room, and I just feel the
hot glaring eyes on the side.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. As we're watching the movie, I just hear them looking at me, waiting for my reactions, and the whole time I'm sitting there like,
can you please stop looking at me? I'm just.
And I sat in the front purely for that reason.
Well, yeah, I would too.
I don't want to make eye contact with anybody.
I had the same situation happen with my social studies class. I think it was my social studies class. I don't know. U.S. history, world history. My senior year, because I had to take that because I kind of did my sophomore year in Alaska, so it wasn't something I had to take. And then when I moved down to Arkansas, they were like, "Oh no, you need this to graduate." And so I was like, "Okay, fine." Took the class, and when we got to like the Trail of Tears and Native Genocide portion of the class, people would argue with me, and there was one day where we got in an argument that was so heated that my teacher was like, "I need you to go in the hall before you absolutely blow up and kill somebody, because like you need to step out." Because I mean, I was this close to losing it, because they were basically negating everything, and they're like, "It doesn't really matter." Like, they didn't really have opinions, and I'm like, do I have opinions? Am I a person? Do I have a brain?
I heard "get over it" once, and I thought I was going to kill that person. Me and my history teacher, he was super dope, because like he taught my dad, and that's like a thing you see in like small town high schools, is like the hybrid history teacher, coach, something, like 6 different jobs all rolled into one. And he was my dad's old wrestling coach. And so we would just have these hot ass debates during history class when he would talk about Native issues, and people would be like, "Well, why don't you just get over it?" And I'm like, how about you read between the lines, Jimmy? Just anger. Just anger.
I love you.
I try.
I think one of my favorite parts from the documentary itself is a lot of Jesse Wente's commentary. Whenever everything he has to say. Am I biased because I love him?
I want to squish him.
He's so precious.
He really is. I also very much, like, random note, I totally have a crush on John Trudell from, like, his 70s look, because he was, like, talking, they put it in a clip in, and I was like,
from Alcatraz. Whoa.
I did not realize he looked like that.
Was it the footage or the footage right after it?
I was like, he would have been way out of my league even at this age. Just like this Lakota poet. I'm like,
no, the one that got me, I mean, God rest his soul, Russell Means, at the Wounded Knee occupation. When they cut to that video, I was like, Russell?
Sir.
Hello, how are you doing? But that's just my humble opinion. But I really like that they showcase a lot of like older activists in the movie as well, and they got their opinions on it. And then they had the Lakota elder there talking about, it was Crazy Horse, right?
Yeah.
The massacre and stuff like that.
Yep. They did talk about that.
We have a lot of opinions about Adam Beach, Danica. This is the
we really do.
Oh my God! Hello, there are 2 cats behind me. This accidentally is on the side an Adam Beach fan club.
It really is, because when we were making our lists, we basically went through the Adam Beach like videography and just.
We were like, oh my God, I love this one. And oh my God, I love this one. And I was like,
damn. We were talking about Squanto, and I was like, I was today years old when I found out that was him, and I just bumped my elbow, and it hurts.
Squanto makes me so mad every single time. Anyway, speaking of Adam Beach, his like breakout role, other than Smoke Signals, into like big Hollywood cinema, was Flags of Our Fathers, where he played Ira Hayes. I have not seen it. I cannot find that movie anywhere. It's one of those movies on the list that I just want to watch because I want to see his performance, because he talks about how raw it is for him as an actor and how he's not really acting, and a lot of it is just like his actual feelings. The clip they show where he's in the street and he's talking about playing the drunk Indian, and he's like, I cannot even drink a beer in a crowd without people going, oh, there's another one. And that shit is so real. And it just breaks my heart that that is a stereotype that's been forced upon us as people. And anyway, it's heartbreaking, and it hits me right in here, deep down in here.
I agree.
Oh no, Kim, there's another movie called Wind Talkers that he does, but the one I'm talking about is called Flags of Our Fathers. Wind Talkers is really good. I really enjoy that movie.
Yeah, that is a good movie.
He plays a lot of his earlier movies are a lot of kind of wartime movies. Hello, friends. Welcome to the.
Hi, Ashley. Oh God, what happened? Where'd she go? Oh no. We got some technical difficulties here. Whoops. Oh well, she's got the email. She'll pop back in. So Ash, before she comes back in, I don't really know what happened. Oh boy. Is she coming back? She's coming back. Sometimes things happen. Sometimes we have technical difficulties. Where did you go?
I was sitting here. I talk with my hands, and I've got my little Apple Pencil in my hand, and I was talking, and I got too close to the screen and just hit the leave button. I was like, I'm done. This is what I got to say. So
it felt like you know those you know when you're watching the nightly news, you know, and like the guy with the hurricane, he's like we're about to lose power at any time, and then all of a sudden it just cuts to black, and
that was
well
by in the middle of our live. It's fine. I just didn't want to be there anymore. I had nothing else to say. This is really off topic, but does anyone want to see the way my cats are sleeping right now?
Just do it.
I'm going to show you anyway. It was out of politeness that I was asking. Shit. Okay. There they are. Sleeping like the little angels they are. Sage was like, what? Okay, I'm sorry. I got really off topic. I'm a big fan of my cats.
It's totally okay. But I like also Jesse Winters talked about the 30s, like the way that it descended from like earlier movies like the 1900s to like when cinema actually came out and like the first movie, and then of course like Stagecoach and like the beginning of those like really cringy westerns that we hate. And then also there was that weird that whole weird long like 20-minute clip where they talked about John Wayne. I was like, why didn't you include this?
John Wayne was just like such a weird.
John Wayne's a douche.
Oh, you talking about when they went to the that little like acting town right outside of Navajo Nation?
Yeah.
I think more of a commentary on how modern Indian life kind of exists with the preconceived notion of who we are. And it's like, if you walk 15 miles to the left, you're going to hit the reality for a lot of us.
Well, and they made a really good point that we also kind of talked about was like Native women were absent in film unless they were playing like the Indian princess.
Yeah. And it's just like a pawn to be used in war.
And the way that, yeah. And then headbands were not our thing. They were put on to keep the wigs on while they rode horses and stuff.
I'm kidding. What the I don't know what's happening in my house right now, y'all.
You're haunted.
No, it's mostly me, and I shouldn't be sitting on my bed.
It's fine.
The truth of it all.
It's fine.
Anyway, what was I saying?
I do not know what you were saying.
Give me a moment. It'll get there.
Thorne's having a moment.
We're all having a moment. This is clearly on Sundays. I feel more organized. To be fair, this is all my fault because my Wi-Fi had to be replaced. But yeah,
totally okay. Sunday was not my day.
Sunday was no one's day. I don't know. I guess my whole thing with the documentary is, like I told you, I don't really have a lot of commentary on it because I feel like everything was said. You know.
I did love though, like Sasheen Littlefeather and like talking about the Oscars, right? It was the Oscars, right? Or the Academy Award. It was an award thing. Marlon Brando got it, and she was basically going to like drop the tea on the film industry, and then
like, I will have you arrested. No, I would have been like, I want to see you try. But that's because I'm combative, so maybe that's just me. But she's so beautiful. That's a very good point.
And
it's fried, y'all. I'm so sorry.
I wish I would have learned about Alcatraz like in high school. Like after
I learned about that for the first time watching this movie. I knew nothing about it. I mean, like, I grew up in the South. Like, that's not something we learned about.
It talks about it a little bit. If you ever read There by Tommy Orange, it talks about the occupation in like a couple of chapters. It's a good book. And then it also talks about, not the book, but the movie, talk about like Iron Eyes Cody and like our fake icons. Every time I see the one where he like the one tear falls down, I laugh.
Pollution commercial where it's just like in the canoe going through like the plant excrement.
Was it? And it just like zeroes up in his eye, and he just
you see
the one tear.
One single stoic tear falls down his face.
Like, yes, pollution is bad, but like
at what cost? Like, why did you spend so much money on this commercial?
You could have at least got a real native guy.
Honestly, but okay, everyone thought he was native the whole time. Everyone did, and it's like, surprise, he's Italian.
But his kids, well, his stepkids?
They're adopted.
Yeah.
They're his wife's kids, and he adopted them whenever they got married. They're actually, they're like, you know, but the thing, I guess the way I feel about that is like with what his kids were saying, he claimed to be something, and he like followed through. Like, he was an activist, and you know, he didn't just do it for clout like a lot of people do nowadays. Like, he really believed that he was, and he fought for it, and for all intents and purposes. And so I kind of, I'm not like excusing it, but I'm like, good on you for that one, because you could have just done it and went home to live your Caucasian life. I don't know. I feel like you're judging me a little bit, Michelle.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I'm listening to you talk. I am enraptured by your voice.
You're so full of it.
I am not.
Oh, your face. Stop. You're so cute. We need to start having like weekly meetings leading up to these.
Yes, we do.
So that way they're a little more smooth.
It's fine. We got this. We're only 27 minutes in.
Oh God, there's so much potential for so much to go wrong.
What if we did a thing where we like watched a couple a month and then we did a wrap up?
See, I like that. But that's cool. I like that you have that kind of connection to it. I think that's actually something really important that they should start working into, like, you know, the U.S. curriculum, as far as school goes, because that would have been a really interesting fact to learn. Because I still really don't even know the motives behind it.
I don't either. But like a lot of the intention is also focused on AIM with like Leonard Peltier, and like hopefully we get to watch Incident on at Oglala at some point this year.
Because you had mentioned it, and I'm actually really interested in watching.
It's one of my favorite documentaries because it has Sir Leonard Peltier, who I am distantly
your cousin,
related to.
Just say he's your cousin, Michelle.
He's my cousin. But for the white people out there, we are distantly related.
For all of you Caucasian folks.
But like, okay, so there was just a quote, but like I didn't realize like how I wish that there was a little bit of like talk about that a little bit, was the racism in cartoons.
Yes.
And
definitely touched on Bugs Bunny.
The quote where it's like, I didn't realize it was me Bugs Bunny was killing. And I was like, I totally forgot about that cartoon.
Yeah. Because I think that's one of those things that people have kind of like done their best to scrub from the face of the earth. Whereas like a lot of older people are like, oh my God, yeah, he was my favorite character. And it's like, okay.
But he was kind of racist though. But I mean, every major, like, you know, they have to keep up with the competition. So there's, you know, tons of racist caricatures out there of every race.
It's literally never ending.
Oh, excuse me.
That was sexy. I think you should do that more often.
Oh yeah, I got lots of crushes watching this live stream. Like, damn, can I get her number?
You and Calvin should go for baby number 2.
No.
No?
No.
Oh.
No, thank you, ma'am.
Maybe it's just me with baby fever then.
Sorn makes up for 2. Okay?
I'll let you have it.
And then we're going to talk about our good old man, Graham Greene.
Ugh, and his luscious hair.
Yes, and how he made me laugh because he talked about how and it also talks about like Dances with Wolves and how he learned more Lakota than
his own language
than his own language or Ojibwe.
And I don't even speak it well.
Yeah, exactly. And
I honestly related to that so hard because he was talking about it. I'm like, I speak this much Cherokee, that much. I can type it, I can write it all day. Please do not ask me to speak it. Is it a ghost?
What are you doing? We're gonna hold on.
You're good. Yeah, 10 minutes.
Okay, fine. Come on then.
We are having a night, friends.
Soren is joining.
That's fine. Hey, buddy. He is the cutest thing. He said, "That's mine." He had priorities. And he knew what they were. Hey, buddy.
You gotta. So, anywho, oh yeah, and then John Trudell points out that humor is something that has saved us as a people in dark times, and it talks about Dance Me Outside and Smoke Signals and Thunderheart.
Absolutely. I think Dance Me Outside is one of those movies that like I really watch when I'm kind of in that headspace where I'm like everything sucks, because that scene where they're like, no, your spirit animal is the animal that you connect most with in nature, and he just stands up butt naked and just starts to get. I love that movie. Have you ever seen it?
Dance Me Outside? No, I have not.
Shell. You need to do better. You need to do better.
See, this is why we need to watch like 2 a month, and then we talk about it.
Oh,
what?
That is a cool comment.
God,
I'm just amazed I saw him in Twilight.
I'm reading up. I'm reading up.
Sorry, you're hearing a lot of Soren. Just okay. We're gonna just.
Shoot. I thought that and Green was just like, no.
And then Russell Means, your guy, he made me laugh. Like he talked about he was mad at the representation in Dances with Wolves because of like the battle scenes where he's like, we're Lakota warriors, and we're like,
made it look like my people couldn't fight.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I might not know how to, I can't just go out and like punch a person, but like if I have to, I will like incapacitate someone. You can ask my good pal Gary what happened to him in 8th grade, you know?
2x4 guy. I love that story.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say something that might get tomatoes thrown at me, but I have a soft spot for Twilight. I really do.
I watched it like the other day because I was like, I just needed something stupid to watch. I just need something to watch.
It's for me, it's like really nostalgic. But like, I know the reality of the movie, and I'm just like, it sucks. But at the same time, I'm like, damn, this is a good movie. This kind of hits me in my feelings sometimes. Dan laughed at me because I made him watch it with me for the first time, and I cried.
I just look at it for like. I also look at it for the like. Even though, no matter how cringy or how terrible it is, I'll look at it purely for like the cinematography and like the way that it's shot.
Beautiful movie. Like objectively, the cinematography is insane. The camera work.
Like when you think of a forest, like you want to get lost in a foggy forest, that's the kind of shit that you picture.
Absolutely. I will say that the fact that broke my heart the most when I was that day years old was the day I found out Taylor Lautner was in fact not. That shit hurted.
He's actually like a diva.
I've not heard that, but
yeah, he's like terrible to work with. That's why what was that? Abduction. That's why Abduction didn't get a sequel or something like that, was because he's just a diva to work with. And that's also why it did bad in the theater, because he was just like,
what gave him that complex? Was it Twilight? I feel like it was
probably. And then we just have this one page just where it says
Adam Beach in all caps.
Just the whole page. And I did write down like a lot of the movies that were on it. So if like anybody wants that list, just hit me up or watch the documentary. But I'm doing all the free label right now, so.
Yeah, no, Taylor's not native. He's got like really distant. I'll Google it and tell you what it is. Hold up.
Yeah, that's really shitty that you would have to prove your tribal citizenship in Blood Quantum, because some people don't know where they come from. They don't know their blood quantum. They don't know they don't know who their grandfather is. They don't know who's who and like how it all trickles down. So
yeah, he has distant ancestry that is Ottawa. Potawatomi? I don't really know.
We're still doing the thing, but he took my lights.
Well, I don't know why you're doing that lot.
Because he was crying.
Stop, Danica. Stop. That's not funny. That hurts my feelings. She used my tribe. Anyway, it's fine. I'm grown up. I can handle it. That was funny.
It's gonna be okay, buddy. But the one that they talked about like right before the movie ended was Fast Runner, and I have not seen that yet.
Okay, I have also not seen Fast Runner, but I want to, because that movie, just when you look at it, you can tell that is a powerful movie.
I agree.
I want to watch it, but I don't know where to find it.
What?
I said I would like to watch it, but I do not know where to find it.
Yeah. All you have to do is Google it, and usually like you scroll down past the actors and like past the little boxes, and then right there it's like watch on blah 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 blah.
Thank you for explaining how Google works, Michelle. You're the mom I always needed. No offense to my mom if she's watching this episode.
Your mom's like, I'm gonna whoop your ass.
Your mom's
talking about me like that. I saw you talking about me on the internet.
She's like, on the internet? Really? And I'm like, look, man. Look. Anyway.
But yeah, we have plans.
We do. We have a lot of like plans for the future. This is just this was really just an off day. Like as far as this live goes and as far as like this topic. Because it's really hard to discuss a documentary, especially when everything you want to say has already been said. But also on my end, the technical difficulties, and then just the fact that I had a really long day at work have kind of taken my brain and fried it up in a hot skillet. So I apologize about that.
That's happened.
Yeah.
I was watching Buffy and like eating McDonald's and stuff in my face before this. And I just got into it because something was happening and I was like, oh my God, for like the 50th time, this is so boring. And then today it came on after the second Twilight and I was like, ah, heck it, I'll just watch it. Whatever. It's fine. But now I'm like, I have to know what happens.
That means a lot. I'm glad everyone likes us. Hi, friends. If I could do like the TikTok lip thing, TikTok lip thing where you like suck your bottom lip in and out really fast, I can't do that. Bro,
I can do this thing with my nose.
Honestly, you kind of scare me. A little bit. But like,
I'm glad to know I'm the scary friend. That's good.
You're not the scary friend. You're not. Danny's the scary friend because she's very intimidating.
Yeah. She's like,
honestly, I love Danny.
The auntie that you don't want to mess with because she will school you.
I love Danny to death. I do. But sometimes I get scared to talk to her because I'm like, she's so cool. I'm so lame compared to her. She talks to me. I feel like I'm talking to a celebrity. I'm not even kidding right now. I said it and I meant it.
When I get recognized by anybody but my friends, I'm just like, they know I exist.
Same.
And even when I started talking to Brody for the first time, I was like, they know I exist.
Pretty much me with all of Native Bookstagram. Somebody followed me. I can't remember who it was that followed. Stephen Graham Jones liked my tweet the other day, and I like almost crapped my pants. I was just like, oh my God, stop.
I can't wait for that one illustrated UK cover to come out, and I'm gonna buy it.
I support that. So I went broke today because I bought clothes that I needed, so I can't do that. But I support that. I don't know what it is about like getting starstruck because everyone's just like people, but I think it's when they're kind of like at a level that they kind of have like a platform. You're just like, oh, you're special.
Oh yeah, and then so we asked our Indigenous book group.
Look at this. Stop.
No, because
do not.
No. I'm
okay with on the internet for you, but I am not okay with embarrassing myself on the internet with Adam Beach because then I'm just gonna have to like relive it every single day, and I'm honestly gonna want.
There's not enough makeup in the world to cover up how fucking weird I am. Okay, he'd be all like smiles and whatever, and then after this thing would end, he'd be like, "You're fucking weird. I'm never doing this again. Bye."
Oh, you're fucking loud, and I don't like you. And he would leave. That's been said to me before by more people than you know. I don't want to entertain this possibility anymore. I'm hurting my own feelings.
I'm gonna get heartburn.
Not heartburn. I think we should petition to interview Graham Greene. I think that would go over a little better.
I said he was a potato in the last thing. He'd be like, why the fuck did you call me a potato?
I'm gonna be sitting behind him like, yeah, she did that. Confess to your sins, Michelle.
You'll be like, sir, I actually told her not to say that.
I defended you both before the live and in the live and then after the live. I said you had luscious hair. He can chill in the bathroom. Can we like crowdfund for 2 Adam Beach cutouts so I can have one in Louisiana and you can have one in South Dakota?
Yes.
Because I'll just put it like right back here. It'll probably scare the shit out of Sam and he'll fly downstairs, but that's fine.
Well, you can have Adam Beach, and then I'll have a cutout of Walter Crowhorse, Officer Walter Crowhorse in the back. Just
that specific Graham Greene. No,
yes, with his Ray-Bans.
Okay, I'll allow it.
I'm scared of him. I don't want Graham Greene to see this. He'll be like, "What the fuck is wrong with her?" I don't blame her.
Any native celebrities see this is the day I fully just off the roof. It's gone. I'll be like, you know what? It wasn't worth it. Not worth it. I gotta go, y'all. I gotta
go. Okay.
You gotta tell me, Danica.
I think I would honestly pee my pants if we ever were able to interview like Tantu Cardinal. She is my everything.
Cry so hard. And she'd be like, "Stop your crying," and I'd be like, "I can't. There's so much." Oh, look, I'm tearing up now. God, I love ADHD. When I get simplest things. I feel like you can really, like, this lighting is really just highlighting my mustache. So all the
bitch, you don't have no mustache. Get the hell out of here.
Better than you. Girl, I do have a mustache. You want to know how I know? My husband tells me every day when he goes to kiss me. He'll lean and he's like, "Oh, your mustache is getting long." And I'm like, "Oh."
Tell Sammy needs to cut it out. I'm gonna whip his butt. Okay, but what we did, we asked our Indigenous community if you could have a movie, TV show made about an Indigenous book or event, what would it be and why? And Kim said probably for the Pueblo Revolt and how significant running, coordination, and unity was in driving the Spanish back. As for the book, I have to think about that.
That's a really good answer.
I did not know anything about that. Sir, what do you do?
We'll definitely research it after. He really just wants the Coke, dude.
He really does.
That's all he wants. Leave my mustache out of this.
Oh my god.
Can I use Jason Momoa instead? Personal preference there.
And then Kay said, I think my favorite film is the documentary about the Indigenous uprising in Chiapas, Mexico. They show how they were the first postmodern activism in a global context and taught us how fundamental news recognition was for our struggles, but hardly anybody talks about. And I also think that any pipeline protest or even the OKA dispute would make good film. Yeah.
I agree. Absolutely agree.
I would love to see a movie about the protest.
I was about to say that I definitely think they're going to end up developing a Standing Rock movie one of these days. Because, it was so pivotal that I don't see that not happening. That brings me back to a point whenever they were talking about the, Alcatraz and the Wounded Knee occupation.
Just take
how it was
take it with you.
How it vitalized activism. And I feel like that's what Standing Rock did for a lot of 7th generation kids. Because before that you weren't really, it wasn't as loud the revolution. And then Standing Rock happened and all of these young kids, young teenagers at the time were this is what it is. This is how it's going to be. And it's just been different ever since.
That was one of the big pivotal protests that I was actually thinking about going to, because it was like, well, the only thing was that I was pregnant, and it was like Soren's a rainbow baby, so I didn't want anything to happen while I was out there. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I would have gone. I would have been out there because my uncle went out there too.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, if it would have been something where I was so far from home, and didn't really have the resources or anyone up there, I really would have gone. But it was a little rocky for me in that respect, especially because I was so young.
Because it was like a few years. It was in 2018, I believe.
Yeah, it was
17. No, 16. My bad.
Yeah, I was like freshly 19, like 18. I just couldn't do it. Too young.
And then Megan said, weird answer, but I wish there was a documentary about all the things that are frequent talking points and drain emotional labor, like the problem with mascots that are based on Indigenous peoples and their history of them, just to dispel the common myths and explain the context, talk about cultural appropriation, but also how those things were banned for Indigenous peoples and why there's such a visceral reaction. I think a lot of people think it's stupid until they hear the rationale, and then they're more empathetic.
I agree. Absolutely.
Empathic. Empathetic?
She meant to say empathetic and they said emphatic.
Sometimes it's hard for me to vowel.
It's okay. I got you. I think one book that would make a really great movie or TV show is actually There. Because of like the different points of views and the way it's done, I think it would be phenomenal.
Well, because it does a lot of like urban versus city, or like urban versus like traditional, like on the res stuff. And so just to see some of those, like, you know, different roads, different cars, different ways of life, I think would be really cool to see.
Absolutely agree. I mean,
me personally, I'm biased, but I would love to see a Apple in the Middle movie.
I have not seen that.
Apple in the Middle is one of my favorite books. It's about a girl that she's like 15, and she's half white, half native, and I believe Métis is the correct one.
Mm-hmm.
And so like she is going through some like racial stuff at her school, and her dad decides to send her to her grandparents' house for the summer, and she meets like her maternal grandparents for like the first time in her life. But she also like combats like the person that was like in love with her mom before she met her dad, and then confronting like her own feelings about her heritage, and like how she feels about her skin. Like the skin thing was a big deal for me, because when I was that age, I remember having really conflicting feelings about my skin and like how brown I was. And so like to see that in film, or like, you know, TV show, whatever, just to see that and know like other kids struggle with that too would be like amazing too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then Megan also said, if anyone's ever seen those Vox Unexplained episodes, something like that, but Indigenous.
I agree.
I think that would be good purely for like more awareness on missing, murdered Indigenous women, girls, two-spirited.
Absolutely. Honestly, some of my favorite representation when it comes to like Native characters, one of them is Piper from
The Lost Hero, the Heroes of Olympus series.
Thank you. I wanted to say Percy Jackson in the Olympians, but that wasn't right. But she's one of my favorites. She's pretty damn good when it comes to a non-native writing a native character. I mean, like the feather in her hair, like being a kid who wasn't raised within her culture as deeply as she would have liked to been, that was her way of reclaiming. And I'm like, I've seen kids around me do the same thing. And so it's like you kind of latch on to these different things about yourself that you kind of use to reclaim, and that was what she did. And I was just like, I don't know, I have a soft spot for her. I love her. She's so sweet.
I agree. I also love, and there's a part in Trials of Apollo where she's like, I'm not your stereotypical tracker. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just here for the ride, kind of thing.
You can do this. And she was like, it's a paw print. You're welcome.
She's like, I see what you're doing. We're not doing this today. Kitty!
I just kind of stole her for another one. I just wanted a cat hug. I don't. Did anybody else answer that question?
Let's see. Oh, Leela said, Ikwa. Yeah. Like a movie about Ikwa, which would be,
That would be a really heavy movie.
It is really important. The closest is the middle grade book, I Can Make This Promise by Christine Day.
Ooh.
Which I have read, which is really good.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's a lot of movies about, or like a lot of books too, are about like everybody always knows exactly who they are. Like in most books, everybody knows exactly who they are. They know that they're, Lakota or Métis or Cherokee or Ojibwe, and they know that. But there's so few where they're like,
don't know who they are.
Or they know their the base heritage, but don't know any of the customs or the culture or like, the things that really are pivotal as an Indigenous person. Absolutely. That make you feel more accepted within the community.
Yeah, I agree. Because I mean, I think that's why They're There is so like kind of special to me, because you get those characters that don't really know where they fit and that don't know a lot about themselves. And so that I feel is like also really good representation of that.
I agree. Oh, and then Melita said, I would love to see Elatsoe as a TV series.
Ooh, yeah.
I haven't read it yet.
I read most of it with my little like review. I didn't end up finishing it before Pub Day, but it's on my list to finish. I'm working through like 16 different books right now because September is like jam packed with deadlines. Yeah, that one. I agree. That would be a good show.
I'm sorry if anybody hears the background noise. It's D&D night, and boys don't know how to shut up.
I feel like it's always D&D night at your house.
D&D night is every Wednesday, Friday, and sometimes Saturday.
Uh-huh. I'm sorry, I keep yawning.
It's okay. But this one's more like clarifying, but Victoria said that it would be interesting to have a documentary tracking the impact that ICWA has on families. And I'm just going to close the door, so just give me a second here. Can't stand these kids.
Hi, friends. Just you and me now.
Also, did you see my lantern, guys?
Wait, does it light up?
Yeah, hold on.
Oh, you giant nerd. I'm in love.
My mother-in-law got me this lantern.
I love it.
Random, but, you know.
One of my favorite pair of earrings is a pair Sam's mom and sisters gave me when I met them for the first time. They're very near my heart.
Well, I also think that it would be interesting to also, like, I feel like also because of the problems that people have with, like, addiction, with, like, alcoholism and things like that, a lot of the times grandparents are the ones that end up raising the children. But, like, in my case, it wasn't alcoholism. It was just just like family issues, and that's why I was raised by my grandparents. But I think that it would be, I think that it's a I think that it would be a good thing to bring up exactly what happens
Yeah.
when it comes to, like, kids having to be raised by their grandparents, or, like, you know, make that a regular thing that
is talked about and normalized, is the fact that some people can't be parents.
Yes, because, like, you with white American, or, like, just Caucasian in general media, is that you see so many of the typical mom and the dad, and, like, they're funny, or you see, like, it's always like the single mom or the single dad, and only sometimes you actually see, like, oh yeah, it's your grandparent that's raising you.
Mm-hmm.
But, like,
it's something that's not normalized or talked about. Like my grandma lived with my parents while we were growing up to help out. So I was partially raised by my grandma, just because, like, my parents both worked, and she was like, it's easier for me to live here because I don't have to pay rent. And I was like, anyway, you can get the bag, Marianne. But
or, like, normalizing like big people in native, like, indigenous media as well, because, like, we can literally, all of us as indigenous people, like, from no matter where you are in the world, we can all be like, oh yeah, we have a cousin or a brother that's, like, 6'2", and he's like a beef. He's huge, both in muscle and in, like, tub.
Yeah, and then you get people like my husband who are 6'10" and built like a Mack truck.
He's a beef.
He's a beast, is what he is. Not a beef, a beast.
He's also a squishy marshmallow.
He is. He's very soft in the emotions. A very soft guy. I love him. Cherish him. And you get to hear about him. But yeah. I don't know. I think big people in general need to be more normalized in Native media, because a lot of the time you just see, like, the skinny Native girls, and it's like the reality is that diabetes and obesity are a huge problem in Native communities because of the way the government is, like, kind of pushed everything on us, and so we just have, like, a natural predisposition to be bigger, at this point because of years of just adaptation to it. And I think the only big Native girl I've seen in the media is Smoke Signals. I love her.
Yeah, she is hilarious, because they were like, do you got your passport?
We're just going to Seattle. We're going to the United States. It's as foreign as it gets.
Literally. Also, this needs to be made into an HBO adaptation. I would pay HBO to get this.
Yeah, girl.
I love it so much. It's so scary, but I love it.
Is it scary to you?
It's not scary. It's like there's things that happen, and I'm like, I'm big sad, but this is so good.
I know what scene you're talking about.
It's so good.
It is so good. I love that book.
Also, there needs to be a sequel. David Wyden, why did you do this to me? Why did you make me fall in love with this? And then be like, oh, it's only 318 pages. No big deal. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
So you would want a sequel. Duh. Marketing.
And then Melita also said, an Indigenous family saga, thinking like Pachinko would be a really good book. But I think that would be a good movie too, or like a drama to have like this big Indigenous family. Because not gonna lie, there's a lot of drama in some families.
Let me stop.
We all have like 15 cousins.
Please don't get me started. I'm begging you. Please.
You're like this one time.
I don't need to air all my dirty laundry out on YouTube.
Not if you want to get a call and be like, I heard you were talking shit about me.
And then they gonna call me and be like, no, what the did I tell you? Telling people my business. I'll be like, look, Daddy, you told me your business, and I tell my friends. And then my friends know your business. Because your business is my business. Surprise.
Way back when, one of my aunts was trying to convince my uncle that she was having twins, that she had like a secret extra child, but it was just one kid, but like they were separated. She was trying to get back together, and she was like, there's 2 kids, there's twins. And he came back and he's like, bitch, there's only 1 kid, what are you talking about?
What happened to the other one? She ate her twin in the womb.
I don't really have anything like tasty when it comes to like family drama. There was one time, it was me and my cousin. We were having a sleepover, and my uncle came to the house, and he had his girlfriend, and my auntie was trying to fight my uncle's girlfriend outside, and my pops was a big dude, okay? Big, really friendly white guy, never yelled, never got mad, never got upset.
Mm-hmm.
Child, he had my wiffle ball bat, and he went outside in his pajamas, and he was yelling and screaming, and me and my cousin were like, we're laying in the covers we're acting like we're asleep. We're like, oh my God.
Crazy.
But then he would look towards us and
knock out again.
And then we're just watching as they're like yelling and screaming, and Pop's got his wiffle ball bat, and I'm like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
We were like 7.
I love that for you. I would share my juicy family drama, but it's no thank you.
It just goes down. That's just the stuff I can share. That's just the stuff that I can share because all 3 of these people are no longer here on Earth, so I can't get in trouble. Of course, I don't think I would get in trouble for my pops. It'd be more like if my cousins were watching this, because I'm talking about their parents, and they'd be like, why are you talking about us on the internet? I'd be like, because I don't care about you. That's just me. I'm fine. It's fine.
I support you. I support you.
Sir, what else do you need?
A nap.
Oh, I had his Tonka truck. He wants it back.
He said, that's enough of your colonizing ways. Give me my shit.
But other than that, it was a pretty good documentary. What do you think, son?
I agree. That's all I got.
What are we going to watch next? Do you know? Or are we just going to decide after this?
Can we, watch?
Should we put up a poll?
Yeah, we can do that. I was just going to go for comfort and say Smoke Signals.
Something what?
I was going to say, can we go for comfort and watch Smoke Signals?
We could definitely do that.
Actually, back that up. We should watch Dancing Outside because you've never seen it.
Can we just talk for like a second about that really cringy camp? For like a hot minute? Like, what the fuck?
So my best friend, God bless her soul, she said, I went to that camp when I was a kid, and I was so sorry. I said, I don't give up what you did when you were a kid. Just don't do it when you're grown. She said,
where was that camp?
I don't know where that one was. I feel like that one was in New England.
Oh, no. Can I have that? Can I have that, please? Can I have that? Oh, shit, it's gone.
What was it?
A black marker. He's going to run on the wall. I wish that you could make flower crowns, but then put lights in them, and then you'd have lights on your head.
You know you can do that, right? If you get a battery
Oh
operated.
my God, really?
Yeah. You just tuck the battery pack under the flowers, and there
You're
you
just
go.
looking at me like, wow, I can't believe I have to host stuff with her. What the heck did I get myself into?
No, it's absolutely not those thoughts. It's just like, girl. My brain is fried, dude. Like, come on.
I was having a moment.
They look like in the paint. It's like you look at it, you're like, you look like your ancestors who were probably Celtic. That's what you look like. You don't look like a native person. You look like a Celtic warrior. Like, chill out.
You know that half those kids there probably did not want to do what they did. And that German dude was he was way too excited about what was going on. Like, bruh.
I mean, the narrator, like the guy who put the documentary together, I can't remember his name off the dome. But he's standing there in the back and he's just like the entire time.
It was directed by Neil Diamond.
Ah, good name.
Yeah. I think I wrote that guy's name down. Oh, David Tuffner. If you're watching this, what the hell were you doing?
Why didn't you go off on him? Huh, buddy?
This was not a good time.
Oh my God, I cannot with my hair anymore. I'm just...
What did you do? Oh my God.
This is where I'm at in life, guys.
Okay, this is the third marker.
I know, he keeps... Take him out. Go. Bye. You're going to go with your dad now.
Lock your door.
Lock me in.
Where's your thing at?
Right there. I'm getting locked in, guys.
That's fine. Oh my God. I quit with my hair.
Your hair looks nice.
You knew what I was going to say before I even tried to say it.
You think I'm lying, but I'm not lying. These are authentic comments. If I was going to tell you the truth, which I'm not telling you the truth because I don't think that, I'd be like, your hair looks like crap.
What are you trying to say, Michelle?
I'm telling you that you look beautiful.
Thanks, friend. I'm glad to know that a full day of work and then physical therapy after still makes me look pretty.
But when I tell you I had notes, this is just the person that I am, okay? Okay, so we have this page.
We are so different. You can literally look at this shot right now and tell how different we are. Like, you're a type A, I'm definitely a type B.
I wouldn't say I'm type A. I'm like chaotic type A, maybe.
Chaotic good.
Everything's organized until I actually have to organize everything, and then I put it off until I can do it.
I agree. I support that.
Alrighty, guys. You think it's time to wrap things up, eh?
Because I have a pumpkin loaf waiting for me at a friend's house. I want my
pumpkin loaf?
Pumpkin loaf. It's the bakery thing that I do with my friend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're taking orders for our fall stuff. And so she made pumpkin bread for me to eat today. She was like, we haven't gotten our order yet. So I'm going to go eat some bread.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end the broadcast, and then you and I are gonna talk in the behind the thingy.
Oh, behind the theme.
So when we say bye, don't do anything. I'll do the rest.
Why did you have to drag me like that? God, you could let that stay between us.
Because sometimes I'm dense. Okay, sometimes I don't get it.
Fine, now everyone knows that I just didn't know what to do last time and just hung up the phone. Like, goodbye.
Okay, but to be fair, it was like your first time, so.
Oh,
Andrea says, enjoy your pumpkin loaf.
Oh, I definitely will, friend.
All right, so we're going to announce what we're going to do next time, later on when we decide. So thank you so much for joining us.
For sticking through this shit show, because this was a mess tonight.
I wasn't a mess. It was a good discussion.
We had a good time, and that's what counts.
We really did. There's good engagement.
Absolutely is.
Can be like, bye.
Bye.
Okay, so we'll see you later, and look out on the Twitter page for all the stuff and the thingies. You say bye.
Bye.